close your eyes, seek paradise, won't change your mind, can't shape the lights, I'll take the chance and roll the dice.
Don't worry, I put up some mines. I don't remember where. Oh look, mines! It was cute. It was like them just wandering around halls pretending they were GoldenEye characters. And they run out of ammo and you see them like very stiffly slapping each other. It's good. It was... Oh.
The good old days.
It's good. We have fun here.
College humor was a certain brand of funny that worked on me quite often. And Facebook killed it. It was a scandal, sort of.
How did Facebook kill it again?
Well, it turned out that Facebook was juicing the numbers when they showed statistics to people who put videos on their site. So what they were doing was they considered, like, the videos would autoplay when you were scrolling in your timeline, and they considered that 3 seconds that it autoplayed before you got to the next post as a full view. So people would see the analytics and say, oh wow, this video did really well, when what really happened is Facebook served it to a bunch of people that scrolled right past it. And it counted as a view. So everybody saw this, and this happened to more than just College Humor. This was actually quite a few sites, and everybody said, oh, video's getting huge, everybody's watching these, we're going to pivot to video. And it turns out nobody actually watched that content. I mean, they watched it, but you know, if you're scrolling through Facebook on your phone or whatever, you don't want something auto-playing, so of course you go right by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook has done a lot to destroy lots of things.
So, College Humor, I think, was the most visible one, but it also decimated, like, actual news sites because they all laid off their journalists and went into video journalism, only to find out there wasn't actually any revenue there because no one was watching it.
Whoopsie doodle.
So, Facebook has managed to fuck up quite a few things, and that's probably not as funny as I'm making it sound.
Nah.
But that video they did with Professor Wikipedia was funny.
Professor Wikipedia?
Yeah, it's great. He's teaching a lecture on history, and like every time a student says something, he revises the lecture. And one guy at the end's like, this is the worst class I've ever taken, and the girl next to him's like, well, at least he's not like Professor Britannica. And the next lecture hall, there's like this 80-year-old guy who's like, and can you believe that one day a computer will be smaller than an entire room? Yeah. So, they had some good ones.
One of my favorite sketches was if Google was a guy, and it's a person serving up Google searches.
That was a great one. Especially the grandfather who's like, Google, and he's like, yes, you're here. Google! And then he goes underneath the desk and comes back up. Oh, it was good. Oh, well.
Where can I find the deep web? Throws on a cloak, brings out a lantern, follow me.
Follow me. Was it College Humor? There was somebody who was doing like an animated series that was pretty decent and wasn't funny. It actually had a lot of like existential dread that seemed to be like a precursor to BoJack Horseman. I don't even remember what it was called.
Was it perhaps Lloyd the Rockin' Unicorn?
No.
Damn. It's the only horse-based existential dread cartoon that I remember.
Oh, it wasn't horses, it was people, but it was all just like people who would start a normal conversation with somebody else and then it would get like more and more depressing as time went on. I think the one that impacted me the most was a bunch of people who were doing speed dating.
Yeah.
And some of them were truly terrible, but some of them definitely found some matches, and you're just sitting there and listening to the pitches that they're giving to people. You never hear the response, you just hear the pitch.
And you are... This is an animated thing that
yeah,
you're...
it was like Flash animated, so that kind of dates it a bit because Flash is not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It might not have been Flash. It might have been in the era of Toon Boom. It was something that's a very simple animation style where the things are barely moving and it's just their mouth. It was drawn fairly decently though, and so most of these are like jokes that they're telling each other. But then there's like a guy and a girl who are like talking to the other person, and the other person never responds, and they're like, oh, I just feel like I'm never going to find anybody. And if you really think about it, the probability is actually quite low. And the more they talk, the more you realize that, like, these two people belong together. They have the exact same attitudes. And then at the end of 5 minutes, you're like, okay, so did they get together? Because you see some of them coupling off, and it turns out that one went on Friday night and the other went on Saturday night.
Ah, it sucks.
Yeah, so it was all stuff like that, where, like, it would start out kind of funny and then get more and more depressing, and then there would be a reveal at the end. And I might have been the only person who ever saw it and watched it, and that's why it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, man.
All the rest of the views were off of people's Facebook autoplays.
Yeah.
Damn you, Zuckerberg!
But that's very much how BoJack Horseman went, where the first season was mostly one-off jokes about David Boreanaz, who was Angel on Buffy, or Booth on Bones.
Yep.
And I am the only person in the universe who found this funny, because they kept listing every crime serial drama other than Bones and claiming that he was on it, and I just found it fucking hilarious. And everyone else was like, who the hell's David Boreanaz?
Oh, man. Now I gotta watch BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, so like the first season is just David Boreanaz jokes and something of that caliber, and the second season it gets a little heavier, and then the rest of it's like, oh no!
Yeah,
I've become attached to these people and I feel so bad for all of them!
I stumbled into a scene that was super dark.
Oh yeah, it has some really heavy stuff.
Yeah, incidentally, from a video essay about The Last Unicorn.
Huh.
Yeah, and it was essentially... Yeah, The Last Unicorn is a book about accepting the inevitability of death.
Oh, it's not talking about the terrible movie. That's actually a cult classic, and now people are going to come after me, and this is going to be the most comments you ever see.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, I do want to, but I've read the book, and I apparently did not read it at the same level as this lady did. And she just analyzes the hell out of it, and I go, oh, I was not prepared to cry this much today, but I guess that's what I'm doing for the rest of today.
Yeah, I get the feeling that a lot of people, it really had an impact on. For me, the only thing that really resonated was Molly saying, "Where were you 30 years ago? How dare you come to me like this?" And it's like, yeah, I know, me too. I feel that.
Just accept it.
That's how I felt about the DuckTales reboot. I was like, where were you 30 years ago? How dare you come to me when I'm like this? And old,
it's just Uncle Scrooge just walks into your front room with a horn.
Aw.
I'm sorry, lass.
You should be. Where the...
I just reminded myself of a very stupid joke. 4:35, blaze it. Traffic was really bad, I'm sorry.
Oh no, being an adult. That's a joke.
Are you trying to use magic outside of a fight?
You're supposed to be able to.
You
fool! I don't remember how.
Does it involve right-clicking?
No, because right-clicking closes the menu.
Maybe Maya has to be the one to do it.
No, because you can...
But Maya is the selected character.
Yeah.
So now click on Maya's face. See?
Okay, but I want Led to be the one that casts it, because she has the highest core. Okay, there we go.
You did
I'm casting spells. I did it.
Again, to zero fanfare.
Hooray!
Also in the least intuitive manner possible.
So I wouldn't have known I was casting the spell at all if I hadn't been directly paying attention to. Yes, I have seen the hit points increase.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to the numbers and the stats. That's how magic works. It's scientific.
I mean, literally, yes, but okay.
Using cards to channel the powers of divinity.
So, how do you usually use your magic, Pat?
Well, I play land cards first. I don't just skip straight to healing and fireballs.
Well, there you go.
It's not in the rules.
Oh, well, that's because you didn't draw a channel and Black Lotus in your opening hand.
And usually you have to start with at least a basic Pokemon in the arena. Otherwise, you have to mulligan and try again.
So, did you find it difficult to play Magic since it requires Pokemon, but Pokemon hadn't been invented yet?
I mean,
Like,
people
was
were
that-
really upset every time I tried to break out my Bulbasaur cards.
Well, if it's not a holographic Charizard, why do you even bother?
I was actually universally garbage at Magic the Gathering, and I never tried to play the Pokemon card game.
Those were things that my parents would have never have allowed me to do because they don't believe in buying shit like that.
My brother was into Magic the Gathering, but didn't he got enough cards to build a deck, and was like, okay, I'm good with this. And then they kept making more cards, and he was like, what? But now my deck sucks.
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
It is a mystery.
And so he stopped buying Magic cards.
I mean, that's why I don't
there
play
was a
Hearthstone.
collectible card game based on Marvel Comics superheroes that I tried to get into, and I had a great time misunderstanding and misinterpreting the rules with the only other person in my entire school who played the game. But other than that, that game went exactly nowhere.
I do like how you phrase that. We had a great time doing it entirely wrong.
Oh yeah,
It's not wrong if it's how you two agreed to play it, so...
But rereading the rules, I think 3 times after playing the game, the one time that we ever played it, I realized, oh, everything we did was wrong. Absolutely everything.
Oops.
Yeah. And not only that, but nobody else played the game. So we would have just...
Now, let's analyze this. If you are the only person playing it, and there's no one around to enforce the rules, are you really doing it wrong?
Well, theoretically, I guess. But on the other hand, still yes, because the way we had interpreted the rules, we had necessarily made at least 60% of the cards that we had useless.
Oops.
Yeah, it was like, why do we have these cards? It's like combining regular playing cards. You have suits and values with stuff that you would expect to see in a game of Magic the Gathering, with cards with rules and flavor text on it. But those playing cards actually had value and worth in the game, but we didn't realize that they did, so we never bothered to use them.
I mean, I played a whole mess of different collectible card games when they came, because after, Magic the Gathering got super popular, every company had to have their own.
Yep.
So I played the original version of the Star Wars one, which could only be played 2-player.
Oh wow!
Because someone had to be play dark side and someone had to play light side.
Oh,
and if you had light side stuff and your friend also played only light side, well, you can't fight each other. It can't.
That's dumb.
Can't be done.
That is super dumb.
That's like a paladin battle.
Yeah.
I saw one of those recently. It took 35 minutes before they got bored.
Yeah, that's usually called a debate.
Yeah.
Like I'll never die. I lose my head in the starry sky.